Well, hello everyone. My name is McQuilty, and we wanted to jump on this call today because there has been some confusion and talk around these incredible quantum healing wands. And I wanted to bring on my friend Dr. Sheila Day to answer some questions that might be a bit confusing out in the marketplace. So, to give you a little bit of a history on me, my name is McQuilty. I'm based in Queensland, Australia. I am a neurolinguistic kinesiologist, holistic counselor that specializes in bioresonance therapy. So, Dr. Sheila, welcome today.
Thank you. So excited to be able to give this information and help clarify the questions that people are having. I am Dr. Sheila Day. I'm a naturopathic doctor in Southwest Missouri, right in the middle of the US.
Amazing.
I have a lot of different specialties and modalities, and Terahertz has become one of them.
Yeah, I love that so much. And that's why I thought you would be the best person to get on this call today, because I know that you have extensive experience in both. And so I actually received a message, multiple messages from many of our team here at Solex and consumers as well. That is a blanket text, I guess, that was put out by one of the leaders in a different company that kind of asks and makes claims about our device, our new wand. So I thought I'd actually just read through that message and let's just cover that off factually. Because I honestly don't believe, and I know you don't either, in putting down other companies. We're all in the same industry and we're all here to love on and support each other. And I think at the end of the day, for a consumer, whatever they choose and whatever aligns with them is right. And, so I just thought we would go through and cover off some of the questions and comments on this blanket kind of text that's been thrown out there. And it starts with a big red question mark of Solex, so what? I love that. I could spend an hour just answering that alone, because with the frequency technology that we have in the palm of our hands with the AO scan, I'm sure you would agree is next level mind blowing.
Oh my goodness, the most advanced available to mankind.
100%. But this then says, last night, a proud Prife IBO asked me to comment on the new Solex Infinity Terahertz wand. Solex is a reputable company. Unfortunately, they've decided to market an expensive iTeraCare knockoff. At their recent convention, they made it sound like they had invented the Solex Infinity wand, but have only put their label on a knockoff made by a different Chinese manufacturer. This knockoff so actually let's go there first. So
there are several points there. Yes, you might need to
Yeah.
keep reminding me because there's a lot of different points to hit here.
Yes,
First of
definitely.
all, Solex has an impeccable history of being a very credible company. And then for the next comment to be made that unfortunately they've made an expensive knockoff, that's not something a credible company would do.
I agree.
What was the next point after? I want to keep them in order.
Yeah, so knockoff, and then the convention, they made it sound like they had invented.
Yeah. So terahertz technology is terahertz. I mean, terahertz has been around since the very beginning of time. It is literally life force energy. It can cause no harm. It is literally the vibration of a normal, healthy human cell. Nobody invented that except our creator. Our creator invented that.
Yeah.
And so I'm not quite understanding this comment, but Lauren did say that they bought up a lot of the other devices that were on the market because they were seeing things that made them really sad. Things that were overpriced and underdelivered, and lots of reports of items burning up, blowing up, hurting people, and lots of warranty issues. I mean, just a lot of issues that were not being addressed, because I had those wands and sold lots of them and very aware of all the issues that were not being taken seriously. And it was very uncomfortable for me to have my name out there representing something that it was not being delivered the way that it should have been. And so Lauren's heart, obviously with his history with Solex and everything that he does is for the betterment of humanity. And his comment was that it made them sad to see an overpriced technology that was under delivering. And so they bought a bunch of them and dissected them down, finding out everything that went into the manufacturing, everything that was being used to deliver the output. And they decided they could build something that was even better at a lower price. So when we're talking about the high end and even the middle end of the devices that we're familiar with, this one right here and this one right here, they have built something with the same kind of technology. Nobody can patent terahertz. It's the same kind of technology, and made something so much better that's going to deliver even more benefits than just the terahertz. They're adding to the terahertz at a quarter of the price. So I'm not sure how that's considered an expensive knockoff.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
When it's much lower price and it's much better built.
Yeah, absolutely. And so they say that the knockoff was made by a different just Chinese manufacturer. I think they're trying to make out that maybe that it's just a cheaply made. So where is the Prife device made?
So Prife devices are all made in China, in the Desheng. Desheng manufacturing, and the warehouses there, all made in China. And that actually almost everything is made in China.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And
I mean, if you go through your house and find me something that's not made in China.
I know so much is made in China. And just because it's made in China doesn't mean that it's of poor quality. And I think that that's why Lauren, the founder of Solex, went to look at specifically how these other devices were made, pulled them apart, did the analysis, had his team do all of the analysis on them to make something that, as you say, was sort of more affordable and more effective. So one of the comments, the next one, sorry, go ahead.
So getting back to the cheaply made. So this was another thing that I've learned, even through these devices. We had a ton of people selling these on Alibaba and Amazon for like $30. I know a lot of people that bought them got no results because they truly were knockoffs, but they look just like this. And the reason that is because this is the shell. It's the outside shell that whoever makes this outside shell can sell it to anybody. It's not specific to any company. And so people were buying something that looked just like this that did not have the same internal components. So that's another thing to be aware of. Even with this right here, that outside design can be bought by anyone, and there may be knockoffs somewhere. We haven't seen them yet, but we're new. But this shell can be made, except for our logo and our information will not be on there. But everything inside is Lauren specific. Lauren himself designed everything that's inside of here.
Yeah, amazing. He's created some incredible, with his other brand, Inner Energy, that people might not be aware of. He has worked in the holistic wellness quantum space for years, to the point where they have quantum wellness centers. They have the theta beds, the infrared beds, the hyperbaric chambers, all sorts of things that people don't even understand, that Solex is just a small part of really the enormity of what this incredible man has created over the years. So from an integral perspective, I've been there, I've seen it, I've experienced it, as have you. It's absolutely unbelievable. Wouldn't you agree?
I would. Their wellness center blows my mind. It's like literally being in a futuristic environment. I walked in and I was like, oh my word, I've never seen anything like it. The technologies that are there, for one, service to humanity. And not only that, I booked day services there when I was there at the Discovery, and I could not believe that they were not more expensive.
I agree.
And that is like everything else that he does. It is not about the money. It is about the most advanced support that he can offer humanity.
Yeah.
I mean, the track record's there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Dr. Sheila, can you share with us here? It says this knockoff doesn't have the Terahertz 3-in-1 core technologies. Can you share with us what Prife's core 3-in-1 technologies are?
I can. Actually, I have it right here.
Oh, great.
Okay. And that was before the premium was launched. So I've been with this company for 2.5, almost 3 years. So I've got a lot of information. I've been working with this for a long time. I love the technology. So Terahertz is the first. Well, Terahertz is not patented. It is a frequency, and we have terahertz frequency in our device as well. Quantum, which is the generation of scalar energy that energizes the cell and balances the body system, strengthening the body and producing healing energy, penetrating deep into the vital organs. That's what we're doing as well. That's not patentable. Quantum's been around since God created everything, just like terahertz. Optical quartz. Now, Prife does claim to have a patented optical quartz tubing, but quartz tubing is quartz tubing. We also have quartz tubing because you have to have that quartz tubing for terahertz to be generated. It has to blow across crystal. Okay. Now that's why the knockoffs don't work. The ones that have the same shell, but not the same inside. So we've taken lots of those apart and found just glass tubing. And that's why they don't work. They can't deliver the terahertz.
Right.
Ours actually does have crystal tubing. So
Right.
the 3-in-1 core technology, this has all of that and more. So I would say it maybe has 9-in-1. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that brings me to, it says, because the Infinity Wand doesn't have the Terahertz patent exclusive crystal technology, they have used a graphene-produced terahertz gap waves instead. In order to enhance its terahertz reach and depth, they scrambled to use a number of dubious, snazzy sounding strategies, i.e., glass tubes dipped in crushed gems. So let's stop there for a sec, because let's just clarify the fact that it does have, like we've just talked about, it does have the genuine crystal tubing, right?
Yes, it does.
And so now when they're talking about the snazzy sounding strategies, glass tube dipped in crushed gems, that's incorrect, isn't it?
That is incorrect. Again, it is a quartz crystal tubing. We do have 7 semi-precious crystals that are ground up coarsely and aligned inside the last 2 inches of the tubing to help extend and amplify that terahertz delivery. So we're getting a much deeper penetration and much more benefit of all those 7 crystals, because they all have their own energy, their own frequency, and the things that they do with the cells of the body.
And they're chakra specific, right?
They are chakra specific.
Chakras. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That's amazing. I absolutely love that. The next one I don't know that I can actually say without laughing, because sorry, this is just a bit silly, but that we added a little gold and silver paint inside. And I've heard, this is the message, pasted on some cheap terahertz stickers on their glass tube that you can buy on Amazon, 4 for $1. I'm sorry, all that I'm picturing now is Lauren Swenson, the founder of Solex and Inner Energy, with a gold and silver spray paint can, spray painting the, like, as if, I mean, seriously, but
I had that image as well, and shopping on Amazon on top of it to put stickers on our devices.
Look, we found them 4 for $1.
Because I'm thinking, I mean, this is information that you can Google on a history of a company and the integrity of a company. I mean, the integrity has been established for decades of impeccable, high standards, high quality, never cheaped on anything. And that doesn't even make sense with what this company stands for and what Lauren has built for years and years and years. I mean, we have the most advanced in so many areas. why would he be looking for $4 stickers on Amazon or using a spray
Exactly.
can to paint something? It just does not register.
No. So my understanding is that it's actually stainless steel dipped into real gold and real
24 karat gold.
24 karat gold
Mhm.
and silver as well, correct?
99.9% silver. Yes. So you've
Excellent.
got a gold ring and a silver ring, and that ionic exchange, which actually purifies the terahertz of anything that might be off, and it helps to amplify it as well. So that gold and silver exchange, you can Google that yourself and find out what that means. But that's what it's doing, is cleansing to make a pure frequency delivery and amplification. That's
Yeah,
pretty darn cool. I don't know anybody that's doing that.
I agree. So to me, so far, it's sounding like, we're factually what we do have in our infinity wands really is, taking these wands to a whole new level, which I absolutely love.
Well, and when someone says cheap knockoff, I'm looking at these and I'm like, I don't see anything cheap here.
Yeah,
This literally looks and feels like a Rolls Royce.
yeah,
And when you, especially when you compare it to even this one, when you compare it to these things, this is a Rolls Royce. And when you turn it on, instead of your nervous system doing that,
yeah,
it's like, oh,
yeah. It's
it's
calm.
completely different experience.
Yeah,
Definitely not a cheap knockoff by
yeah.
any means.
And I think too, we're working with energy and frequency, right? So I think, as I say, and I said right at the beginning, people should do what they feel is right for them energetically. And, we really just wanted to do this to give people the genuine comparison and respond to the claims of what's being made about the wand so that people can look at the facts, both sides, and go, okay, what's best for me? And if the iTerra wand feels right for you, then that's what you should buy. If the
Right.
Solex, infinity wand feels right for you, that's 100% what you should buy. But I would always do it based on, yes, feeling, but also fact as well. So,
Well, and that's the thing, is make sure that you get the facts. Don't listen to hype.
yeah,
Don't listen to people that might be feeling threatened,
yeah,
because that is a big threat. When you're in a company, you're doing well, and
oh,
somebody comes out with something even better, it can
yeah,
be threatening and make you want to cut them down to make yourself look better. And that's really not very professional or ethical. Let's
right.
just stick to the facts. The facts are what they
Absolutely.
are. Oh,
Yeah.
we didn't touch the red and the blue. Is that in his comments?
I don't believe so. So yes, let's just quickly talk about that now because can we talk about the red and the blue
Let's
infrared?
do that, because with these other devices, there is a blue light.
Okay.
Now, while many of the distributors wanted to claim that blue light has therapeutic benefits, Prife never did claim that, and they said it is only for pointing. And I am very pleased that they did not make that claim, because it would have been a false claim. They actually bought a very cheap LED, blue LED, that was like 30 degrees off positive negative. That's a big range. So
Yeah.
it's not in the therapeutic range. It is literally just for pointing.
Okay.
Ours, however, Lauren thought for a few more bucks, we can have a quality blue LED with the, what is that? 607. I can't remember. I think it's 607. I could be incorrect. Got a lot of stuff trying to keep my head. And let's add the red light therapy,
Yeah.
because we know how powerful red light is. And that's the 660.
Yes.
Spot on, the real LED for red light 660. And I'm pretty sure it's a 607. I'm not,
Yep.
the blue
Yeah, I
light.
think my
But
memory is, yeah.
we can say that this is definitely therapeutic red and blue light, and it blows right out the end. It's just beautiful. It makes a nice
Yeah.
purple in some ways that you angle it, but it is the therapeutic. It's not just for pointing. So we've
Yep.
got that added benefit on top of the gold and silver ionic exchange that is real gold and silver, by the way,
Yep.
um, through the
Yeah.
glass crystal, or through the quartz crystal tubing, and the 7 semi-precious stones at the end, with a much more powerful motor. This was a thing that too I found very surprising. So the motor in these is like a 200, which
Yeah.
means their life is not as long. Ours is a 2000. And I
Wow.
thought, yeah, 2000. It is much more powerful, and yet it's much more quiet. I actually did a
Yeah.
live comparing because this one was supposed to be the quietest of the three Price devices. So
Right.
I did a live showing this one and how noisy it still is. And it really does irritate a lot of people. I've had a lot of people just not use it because they just can't take the noise.
Yeah.
This one, even though the motor is much more powerful, it is much quieter. What is it?
It's
8 decibels
so quiet.
less than the premium. And then when I wand my water, because I'm still charging my water, we need to be charging our water and structuring it and breathing life force energy back in there.
Yeah.
Instead of my other device that used to just blow it up all over the place, drove me crazy. This one, even though it's more powerful, it does not blow my water all over the place. So
Yeah.
you
I
can
love
imagine when
that.
you're blowing it on the body, there's going to be a much different experience.
Yeah. And one of the things that I'll just touch on real quick is because I have the red Price one, and again, I'm actually a bit noise sensitive. Have PTSD from a traffic accident, and I actually can't stand the noise. But the other thing is too, particularly it's for my neck and shoulder, having to stand there to hold it is actually really annoying as well. So Solex have actually bought out a stand to put the infinity wand on, and it's actually motorized, so it actually moves back and forth, and it's very reasonably priced too, which I thought was just a great tool to go with the wand. Yeah.
So many people have asked for something like that, and we've just been buying hairdryer stands off Amazon, but it doesn't move and they tip over, especially when you've got the heavier devices. So I
Yeah.
was so grateful to see this nice, and I don't have mine out. I should have had it out and set up so I could demonstrate it.
No, that's okay.
It's just
Yeah.
now I can blow it up and down my spine and everywhere that I want to use it. Where before, like you said, that gets tiring, and then trying to
Yeah.
blow through the front to hit the spine. Now I've got this oscillator that blows it for me.
Yeah, it's perfect. That's amazing. I wanted to touch on another comment here because they do talk about the wand's efficiency and guess that perhaps extended it's a guess that it extended its range by a foot or so. The reason that my understanding with Solex is the reason they were able to make that claim is because of the extra crystals of the chakra system that was put in there and the ionic exchange. Is that right?
That is correct. And they know they've got at least 18 inches, possibly more. They have not tested past that, but they are working on that as well. It just didn't seem significant when we launched.
Yeah. Okay, great. And then it says, of course, there was no mention of awesome quantum scalar functionality or capability to energize water and food. Their presenters hyped the claim that their wand has a far superior construction and reliability to the iTerracare. How do they know when it hasn't been out in the field for 2+ years yet? The iTerracare has had 9 years in development, testing, and certification, like the iTerracare. Could you respond to that?
I would love to. First of all, having all the other devices and having this one, I've been using this one for several weeks now, and I mean, you know when you're holding this and using this, the what do you call it? I've lost my words. It's a much more sophisticated
Yeah.
workmanship. The craftsmanship, it is just like I said, it's like a Rolls Royce. It
Yeah.
truly is. There is nothing cheap about this. And when I use all of these other devices that I have loved, because the terahertz is very important and everybody needs it. It's the most advanced healing technology that we know of. But
Yeah.
these truly are not as well constructed as this one. I mean, there is a huge difference. And not only that, why do we have so many returns with these? And if iTerra was in research and development for so long, why do we have, I would say 50% of these being returned? Because they're burning up, they're blowing up. They took out the cool feature to where it was so hot we couldn't use it on babies, children, elderly, or pets.
Yeah.
I just don't understand that comment, because we've got a lot of device issues with these. Now, just because these have only been in a field for a short time, this has been in research and development for quite some time. They've been researching and putting it through the trials and testing. Why else would they come out with all of these if they hadn't done all that? Where these, I have a hard time believing that, because I'm having to replace a ton of them every time I turn around. People get it the next day. It's like, well, it's not working, or, well, it just blew up in my hand, or it just melted. Or it's smoking. These often are smoking. And I'm like, okay, this is not okay.
Absolutely. I agree. So the Infinity Wand is an awkward shape and looks heavier than the iTeracare Classic or Premium. They allege it's slightly quieter. So if it isn't a magical wand, I love the sound of magic. Sorry, I don't know who wrote this, but it's just, I find it quite amusing. But I mean, I can speak into both, as you say. Like, I mean, they're both similar size, right? And
this is much heavier.
Yeah.
Much heavier.
Yeah.
Now, it isn't as light as this one, but well, actually it's about as light as
the red one.
It's very light, but it's just constructed so much better. It's not heavy. This is heavy, very heavy, and it's hard for people to use. This is much lighter, but it's just constructed so much better, in my opinion.
And the thing I love about ours, the Solex one here, is that it is a touch screen. So it has all of the different settings, not only the speed settings, but also has the different heat settings. And one thing you touched on before, and I have the red Price one as well. And, I have been utilizing it on people before where they're like, oh, that's actually really too hot. You're going to need to move it, because it does actually burn. I have not found that with the Infinity Wand. So are you the same in that sense?
Absolutely. And that was another thing that Lauren knew. The devices were way too hot. They were hurting people, and there is no need for that excessive heat. And actually, you can cause harm with that extreme heat over extended periods of time, because this is one thing people don't understand. There's a misnomer that we were being taught in the other company, that you need that heat for the therapeutic action. And that's not true, because terahertz itself, the oscillation of the terahertz frequency will heat inside the bone. And when, when we talk about if we could heat the bone, we could treat disease. Well, just the oscillation itself causes that heat inside the bone that stimulates and activates the stem cell. So it's not the topical heat. It's the vibration and the oscillation of the frequency. Now, also, they taught a lot about why the cold settings or the cool settings were so important for topical use. The surgeryless Botox or facelift, and all different kinds of skin applications. You can't do that with that excessive heat. It's just too hot. And anytime they were talking about using it for the eyes to restore vision and health back into the eyes, that's too darn hot. So that's another thing. Lauren made sure we have a cool setting, a room temperature setting, a warm setting, and a warmer setting. And they are so soothing because there is a time and a place for the warmth. But that excessive, prolonged heat for people that have certain conditions like multiple sclerosis or a neurological thing, where that heat can be very disturbing. Initially, it is great to bring healing going on, but you want to cool that down to calm down the nerves once you've stimulated them. So we can do that now here. Seemed like there was something else. Oh, if you want, I can do a little demo of the sound.
Yes, please. And whilst you're getting that set up to do, I'd love to touch on the fact of, because I have a titanium disc in my back, being really careful with, I know that heat, you can't heat up those elements in the body. And we actually have a room temperature setting in the Infinity Wand so that it doesn't do that, right?
That's exactly right. And so that was another thing. I was very happy. Lots of questions were coming in about the contraindications and, well, can I use it in my steel knee? Can I use it, where I have these artificial things? The thing is, with anything artificial in the body, it doesn't do good to blow it on that because it can't blow through it.
Yeah.
But at least you've got, you don't have to be afraid of, oh my gosh, am I going to touch that spot? I can't see it. I'm not sure exactly where it's at. And so people would stay away, and because of fear, and it was just, heating up metal in the body, or the plastics, the different kinds of materials, where now we've got room temperature settings where that's not an issue. Just realize it's not going to blow through it. You still need to blow around it, but you don't need to be afraid to touch it.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, without a doubt. Thank you for covering that off, because that was something that had been asked to me and was a concern for people. So that's great. So we've already actually talked about the differences in the actual sound of each of the devices, because that has been covered off. Ours is, I think you said 8 decibels lower, but it's actually good for people to be able to hear. So let's do it.
Yeah. So this is what we call the household device, because it is the least expensive.
I actually can't hear any sound coming through. It might only be on I think Zoom is funny with sound. That's probably why they cut sound out. So we might not be able to do the sound.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
We might be able to do that on the live though.
Yeah, we'll have to do that. It did work on the live that I did.
Yeah, I think Zoom's funny with I used to play music on getting ready for a call, and just sort of nice ambient frequency music, until I realized like a year later that nobody could hear it. So but yes, let's do that on a live soon.
Yeah.
Okay, so what else do we need to cover off? So what if it isn't a magical wand? Well, I'd like to say that it is, so that's incorrect.
Well, I can say that I do not have a lot of things to test. I just am very healthy. I take very good care of myself because I am very proactive about aging. And I expect to live my full life to 120, or Dr. Tay says 126. So I'm very proactive. But when I have something, it's difficult to know, okay, what kind of results am I getting? But I have an old injury that I broke my ankle when I was 18. That's been a little ways ago. And I'm also bodybuilding. So it's getting a lot of stress. And sometimes it's not very happy. And not last week or week before last, it had been about 2 weeks. It had just been really swollen and just achy. That ache that's just like kind of just drives you crazy. Can't sleep at night because it's just aching. And I had used, because I have the iTera Bio, the foot plate thing. So I used that thinking that was going to be great, because that was a solution for not doing this thing where I could just put my feet in there. Wasn't getting any results. I had done a couple of other things, and then I thought, grab this. I haven't really had a chance to have any kind of a testimonial. Literally, I turned that on. I turned it on the room temperature setting, and I kid you not, I watched the swelling go down in my ankle within minutes, and the achiness just leave. I only needed for like 5 minutes, and the swelling went down, and that achiness just left, and it has not returned. And I'm still working out, so it's still getting daily strain. But I was like, oh my gosh, I literally just watched that go down.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's a huge testimony in itself, right? And I think this is the thing. We're getting so many testimonials for so many different things out in the marketplace, and people are getting the results, which is amazing. So the last part of this announcement says, does Solex or their knockoff manufacturer have any patents on their wand? Their reps may be very disappointed when their customers don't get the magical, often miraculous results that iTeracare users have gotten around the world have gotten. Solex entitled their Infinity Wand video "Move Over iTerahertz." They should have labeled it "Move Up iTeracare." Ooh, it's a bit vicious. It's a bit vicious.
I'm really shocked at these words, especially knowing who they came from. It really shocks me.
Yeah. But I mean, for me, what comes to me in guidance, and I always work with what feels right. And the proof is in the pudding. I
Right.
think that we're not here to say don't go and buy that, buy this. Instead, buy what feels right to you. But do your research, your genuine research first, not
Yes.
messages like this that I have as you know, there are many people in the Solex business that are or were in Price. And I think the biggest thing was the disappointment that came from those distributors from that message, particularly, and other videos that have been done also
Yeah.
that are actually out in poor taste.
And
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
so I was just thinking, when we are bringing this to humanity, it is not to get at someone else or to cut someone else down. It is so that we can truly offer the very best to people who truly need to be helped. And
Yeah,
that is really what has made my heart sad in
yeah,
some of the other business that we've done is I don't feel that that alignment was the same.
yeah.
And that really hurt me because to be able to make such a classy, high standard, high quality with so much more in it at a fourth of the price.
Yep.
Obviously, money is not the issue here. It is how can we offer the best service to humanity?
Yep.
And that is my mission, and that alignment is very important to me.
Yep. Absolutely. I agree. And that's where I feel, for people, and that's why I wanted to do this comparison, because it's not about us bagging a competitor or anything like that. It's really just responding to some of the poor words that we used about such an integral brand.
Yeah.
I believe that everything is energy and frequency, as we know, and I certainly don't align myself ever with anything that doesn't resonate. And when Solex was brought to me a couple of years ago with the AO scanner, honestly, it was just next level for me. And for them to be able to bring out other products in the marketplace that are of the highest quality and of the highest grading, they just wouldn't do it. If they weren't able to do it and the best possible way they could, they just wouldn't do it. So the fact that
Right.
we've been able to bring out an infinity wand that is superior, it is cheaper, and it is just as efficient, if not more. The proof is in the pudding. So I'm excited to get more testimonials over the time. We're here, so excited in Australia for it, and I know as are you in the US. Dr. Sheila Day, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
You are very welcome. I'm glad that we had the opportunity to answer some of these accusations and claims. And we encourage everyone, do your research. If you know people that have used both technologies, ask them their opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Well, Dr. Sheila, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for joining us today, everyone. Love and blessings to each and every one of you.
Yes,
Thank
amen.
you.